Thank you so much for hanging with the Hazes. Please sit back and enjoy, as all of our videos that you will see are Christian based and for families. So sit back, relax, enjoy the information that will be coming forward in the next few seconds. Feel free to email us. Our email address is at the end of the video. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions or comments you may have. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show.
So this is the device that I picked up. It's called Mr. Heater. And I picked this device up for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's the quality of the build looks really good. Looks like they sealed everything pretty good. There are a few makes out there where this nut right here is not free spinning. It's actually frozen or permanent to this, which means you have to turn this whole thing in order to screw it in. The problem with that is this may not give you clearance to do that. So when you purchase one of these, you want to make sure that you have a free spinning nut right here, or you're going to run into an issue. This side is going to go to your propane tank valve. This side is going to go to your regulator. I cannot stress this enough. And I cannot stress it enough. Matter of fact, I need you to see my face. I can't stress this enough. Nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, is ever to go on and in this case, it would be the right side. You never, ever put propane pressure after the regulator. It always goes through the regulator. So, into that side, out of that side, into the regulator, and then into the coach. Very important. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our adjustable wrench on here, and let's see if we can get this thing moving. All right. And as you can see, it should start to move relatively freely. This way typically tightens. In this application, it loosens. It's called a reverse thread. So we're going to go ahead and thread this rascal out. And of course, we made sure that was off. And we're going to kind of set that right there. Now, I want to get in here and see if there is a gasket or anything like that. So hang tight. So it doesn't appear to be a gasket or anything stuck in there. And that's just kind of sort of give you an idea of what it looks like. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to stick the regulator onto this, and the regulator will screw right into there. So I just went on the hand tight. be hard. Keep in mind, I'm keeping this side. So I went on and I tightened this up hand tight. Remember, you have to come counterclockwise to tighten. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a pair of channel locks right here, and I'm gonna tighten this up. There's a gasket in there, so it shouldn't be too hard, and we're just gonna make sure that it's nice and tight. I got it in there nice and snug, and when we reinstall this, we're gonna make sure that it's kind of sort of sitting like this. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is, at some point, I'm probably going to want to figure out a way to secure this hose a little bit. I mean, this is not heavy and it should hold up, but I think I'm just going to want to secure it a little bit, some kind of way. I'll figure it out. So we're going to go ahead and connect the supply side and see how that goes. All right, so I got that in there nice and snug, okay? And that's kind of sort of how it looks. All right, so here's the next thing I want to do. I'm just going to kind of sort of bounce this stuff around a little bit just to see how it is and see if I really need to secure it. Worst come to worst, I'm going to get a piece of wood and stick it right here, and then I'm going to hog tie that wood with a piece of what do you call that stuff? Zip tie, cable tie. I'm just going to put a piece of wood under there, cable tie it together, and that way I don't have to worry about it bouncing. I mean, it's not going anywhere. It's pretty stable, but I might stabilize it a little bit more. So this valve on top here, this allows you to hook your big propane tank right here to a cooking grill. There's another hose that came with the kit, and I'll show you the kit and all that good stuff. There's a hose that came with it. This valve right here is what's going to allow your propane external tank to feed your system, okay? Keep in mind, your gauge is not going to change in the coach because your gauge is reading off of that. You're gonna have to put a separate gauge on your portable tank, and that's just kind of sort of the way that goes. So give me a minute to just kind of do some safety checks. I'm gonna spray this with some soap and water, make sure I don't have a leak, and then we're gonna start firing stuff up off the main tank, and then I'm gonna close it off, and I'm gonna fire it up off of a portable tank. Okay, so now here comes the leak test. Here's the deal. You can spend $5-6 and get a leak test kit, but it's the same thing as this. Put some of your favorite dish detergent, Ajax, Dawn. What did I put in there? I think I put some blue something or another in there. Anyway, there we go. Soap and water. That's all you need. You need a saponification agent. When it hits, air hits it, if there is a leak, it'll bubble. It'll kind of start blowing bubbles and stuff, and you know that you got to go back and start tightening. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and open this valve, and now we have a flow of propane, okay? The next thing we're going to do, we start looking for big bubbles. Little bubbles like that, nah, I'm not worried about those. I'm looking for big bubbles. Guess what I don't see? I don't see any big bubbles. Okay? Now, let me show you an example, if I can, of big bubbles. So, here we go. Pilot is out, which means we have a flow of propane. There's also some proof that we got a flow of propane. So we know we have a flow of propane from the main tank. Now we're going to see if this little valve thing works. And what I've done, I've turned off the propane, and I'm going to put this into right here and use this little leather thing. It kind of keeps that close by, because if you lose it, I mean, it's not a big deal. There's a valve in there, I don't know if you could see it, that prevents propane from leaking. And I know that's kind of the case because there's no gasket or anything here. So there has to be a valve in there. That only makes sense. So let's plug this doohickey up, and then I'll show you how it connects to the tank, and then we'll fire everything up again. This is fixed, so you're gonna have to rotate the entire hose to put it on. So do not attach this to the propane bottle yet. All right, so now that I have that on there, I just tightened it a little bit with my wrench. Don't go over tight on it. And the reason I'm saying that is because that's brass. And then, again, there's really no gasket in there, but you don't want to get ridiculous with it. You don't want to strip that brass out. So just tight enough, pretty much. Then you're going to go over here to your trusty tank. Remember, reverse threaded. That way is tightening. All right? And then once you get, but so tight here, I'm going to grab your wrench. All right? And you just kind of want to tighten it up. This does have a gasket on this side. Just tighten it up. Okay. And as you see, it's getting windy out. So, perfect time to be doing this. Let me just throw this over here really quick. All right, so that's out the way. Let's go ahead and tighten her up. Kind of hold the phone and do this. And again, don't be ridiculous. Just tight. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to verify this is off. And we're going to turn this on. Then we're going to go in and see if everything fires up. The test is the stove. Looks like she fires up really good. Alrighty. I just heard it. And as you can see, it's nice and blue. Now, I'll explain that one really quick. All right, so this is a side note. It has really nothing to do with our installation, but I'm glad to see that the installation works. Here's the deal with the blue flame. Propane can have a lot of impurities in it. There's nothing wrong with the impurities. However, impurities don't produce BTUs. They don't. They just burn off. And you have soot and all kinds of crap in your exhaust. You don't want that. Try to get your propane from a reputable quality source that frequently turns over propane. So, hopefully I've helped you out a little bit. Like I said, the install was a breeze. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to make sure everything's still running and burning. And if it is, glory hallelujah. I'm going to go fill my tanks and I'm going to get off my main tank and enjoy some heat. So, thanks so much for checking us out. If you had any questions, feel free to email me, and I'll be more than happy to, answer any questions. Oh, and for those who say that I didn't do the leak check, you're right, I didn't. I'm sorry. Let's do it now. No bubbles.
Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Hanging with the Hazes. Feel free to like us with a quick thumbs up. We always appreciate those. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to send us an email. We'd be more than happy to get back to you. You're also welcome to use the comment section below, and we try to get back to you within about a day's time or so. If we're on the road, it may take a little bit longer, but we look forward to sharing our adventures with you. Thank you so much once again, and we look forward to hearing from you real soon.